Hey, we'll give you guys a quick walk around. You've seen some of my prior videos on Bring a Trailer. The good news is I'll try to keep this more brief than I have in the past. But I wanted to still let you have a better look than through just the photos in the gallery. And then, like usual, obviously, if you guys want more specific either photos or videos of any parts of it, let me know. 1970 Ford F-250 camper special, the XLT Ranger package, 360 motor with the C6 transmission, automatic. Couple little extra things that the original owner added was obviously the rooftop clearance lights, and then this ginormous, super heavy duty, what my wife calls a cow pusher, grill in the front with a couple off-road lights, extra auxiliary driving lights, whatever you want to call them. All the clearance lights on the roof, the two auxiliary lights on the front bumper there, and then all of the lights of the truck itself that are supposed to be working. All this is working. Try to see if I'll walk around it here, and then I'll try to see if I can get in closer to show you some of the imperfections. Probably the most, there's one ding right in here. And you can see a little tiny one right there. And then as you see in the photos too, I try to highlight, there's chips and stuff in the paint all the way around. We have new Power King tires, refurb painted rims, stainless steel caps. This emblem, you can at least kind of make out the original Camper Special wording. You can't really see it on the other side. So at one point, obviously, it had the in-cab tank, which the original owner removed. I don't know if he had some leak issues or anything, but he said he got tired of the fumes. And so he removed that one and then had this top one installed inside the bed. That one is gone though, however, and then as you can see in the photos, the in-cab tank is still gone. I'd say if you want the extra range, that you might want to add an extra, or add the in-cab tank. That's pretty easy to do. I've done it a couple times. So the factory optional auxiliary tank is one down here, and that's the only one right now that's installed in the truck and functioning. Rear step bumper, I think, was on the Marty report as well. So the plate, paper, or it's actually plastic, is from Valley Ford in Yakima, Washington, where the truck was bought brand new. Got a new exhaust from the Y pipe up front and back. So new MagnaFlow muffler and mid pipe and tailpipe are new. Got the tool stow box. Works nicely. I do have the key for it, so it does lock. It's all metal toolbox. So again, I do have the key for that. Locks up nice. And here you can see, you can't even read that anymore. Camper Special wording there. that's pretty much, well, actually, let me show you the inside of the bed. See where that pipe came out, or pipe's coming from the cap on the other side. That's supposed to go into that extra fuel tank. And then there's actually an electrical conduit hookup in the back of the bed here, I'd imagine, for a camper. I think that, from what I can tell, the stuff that I took out of the bed, that at one point there was a fifth wheel hitch in here, which there were remnants of when I got the truck and I took out. That's what those 4 holes are there in the front, and then the 2 up on top. And then I think the fifth wheel stuff was removed, and at one point it had a slide-in camper that butted up against the back of the cab here, as you can tell. I think what the deal was here is that there was a cargo light that was installed. Well, that interfered with the slide-in camper, so he took that off and made this little plate just to block off the hole, and then some of the paint's worn off that. And you can see it on the back of the cab as well. But otherwise, the bed's in good shape. There was one rust hole. Can't remember now where. Oh, there's a well, there. The hole was drilled, as you can see. These other 4, these guys, and then there was one that was here. It was drilled here. As those other 4, well, obviously moisture sat in this little well right here and rusted it out, and I knocked as much as I can out of there. And it may actually be, if I have the access to it, I'll have that repaired by the time the auction ends. And if I do that, I'll show you video or photos at the very least of that process. But that's the only rust hole in the bed. It had some surface rust, which we treated with Ospo, and that's, well, the surface rust that was there that you see is kind of turns like a chalky white color. So that's where that's from. It had the extra aluminum cap in the back of the tailgate, and looks like some homemade strips along the 2 bed rails. Actually, the front one here too. So we'll go check out the inside. Yeah, we'll check out the inside real quick. Let me show you real quick. I mean, these doors are so solid, close and open very nicely. Again, Ranger XLT package. Aftermarket speakers in the doors, unfortunately. I'm not sure what the story is with the radio, other than it does not work. And I haven't played with that at all yet, but I might have time to do that too. But the truck will also come with the stock Ford AM push button radio. I'll include that. Original bench seat, not reupholstered, original condition. There's a couple here. There's a little cut right here, and then like a scratch or whatever you want to call it right in the middle. Other than that, the seat is in very nice shape. New carpet kit with all complete sound deadening on the floor, the whole cab, floor of the whole cab. I stitched on a Wheelskins leather steering wheel cover. The steering wheel itself, with an exception of the 2 cracks on this one spoke right here, the steering wheel is in very good shape underneath there. I think I included pictures of it that I took before I put it on. I have pictures of the dash of what it looks like underneath. Basically, the big flaw is that one crack in the middle here. Other than that, it's good. It's got the chrome trim. The headliner is kind of wobbly, but it is the original one. And then this guy here was in the truck. It's like a St. Christopher Be Safe badge, and so I'm leaving that. It was glued on actually over on the glove box, but I was able to get that off, and then the remnants of the glue, and then I put it on the ashtray instead, and now it's just stuck on there with some Velcro. This is the AC system, which is not working. The compressor is out of the engine compartment, but I do have the compressor and all the brackets and bolts hardware that installs the compressor, but I don't think that the AC system is working or hooked up, but you have the plumbing, so to speak, for it, aftermarket install. And I'm not sure if that was a dealer install or some kind of other aftermarket, but some people will probably know. Okay, we'll check out the engine compartment. I'm going to show you this door too here. Again, they close nice and easy, very solid. This door, show you a view here. This is where the in-cab tank used to be. Still have the wiring in place there for the sending unit. Oh, and I do have, for an Oregon buyer, may have interest in, I did get, when I got the title, and I got brand new registration, brand new Oregon plates that are good for 2 more years from now. So that helps out an Oregon buyer. And then we'll check out the engine compartment now. Okay. So I have one of the, well, I have the records of the work that's been done for parts and labor, which a lot of the labor was on my own, but I took photos of those receipts and stuff for the photo gallery. The most significant one was about almost a $4,000 receipt, work order. I think it was like $3,800. That started out as a project to have a new exhaust put in, because it had an exhaust leak, leaking at the manifolds, mid-pipe, and the muffler was rusted out. And so, well, we couldn't not get the exhaust off the manifolds, so we had to pull the heads to get the exhaust manifolds off. And then, so you can detailed it out in that receipt, but did a lot of work putting things back together. Since the heads were off, they were refreshed and resurfaced. Exhaust manifolds were resurfaced. All new gaskets there way around, new valve cover gaskets. We repainted the valve covers, the air cleaner, and then the old radiator we noticed when we were in there was leaking a little bit, so we put in a brand new radiator, all the hoses, belts, complete tune-up and new ignition wires, points, condenser, plugs. And as you can see, it is equipped with power assisted brakes and power steering from the factory. That's all functioning really well. I'm sure I'm forgetting a lot of stuff, but new battery cables, and again, it's explained in the listing. Some surface rust inside the hood here above the battery. And the battery tray underneath there has some rust holes in it. And one of my favorite parts about the truck is that somebody took a Washington State license plate and laid it across the holes in the battery tray. So it became the bottom, a new bottom for the battery tray. About the best use that I've ever seen for a Washington license plate. And that's what she looks like.